When you go to get an education, sometimes you think, well, I'm not very smart. How am I going to compete with all the really smart people who are doing so well in class? Well, if you think about a computer has several parts. It has a hard drive, it has memory, it has a CPU, it has a power supply. And when you put together a computer, you have a computer. Well, there are corporations who do nothing but specialize in hard drives. And at those corporations, there are people who do nothing but specialize in little hard drive heads, or the motors that make hard drives go, or the platters that are inside hard drives. And they study their whole life, and that's all they do. They don't make a whole computer. They certainly don't make a whole internet. Well, you can study a computer, or you can study just the hard drive, or just the fan that blows on the CPU, or you can study the whole internet. There are people who know how the internet works, but they couldn't write a very fancy web page. And there are people who can write a very fancy web page who couldn't write a pretty simple application. So the illustration of the hard drive or the web page or the fan that blows on the CPU is called a microcosm. Now that we have the idea of a microcosm in our minds, let's think about doctors. You have a general practitioner who doesn't know all kinds of diseases. He knows what chickenpox is, or the flu, or the measles. And if you had a mark on your arm, you could go to that doctor and he would look at it and he'd say, man, that is a bad mark on your arm. I think it might be cancer. But he doesn't know all about all kinds of cancers. Meanwhile, over here, there's a doctor who's spent all his life doing nothing but study 50 different kinds of cancer. And if you went to him, the doctor would take a look at that mark and he would say, oh, you've got this kind of cancer and you need to do this and this, but it's benign and it's not going to be a problem. You're going to get better. So now dumb people take a look at this world and they say, well, what do I want to study? Find out what you're good at. People can do more than they think they can if they put their mind to it.